Omari, I think you sound good too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that cheddar?
Yeah, that's my favorite cheese. I don't even deny it anymore.
Okay. I didn't. I mean, is it controversial or like what's it? What's it like?
I don't know. Everybody's into like fancy cheeses. Cheddar doesn't get that respect a lot of times.
That's true. I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of a Kobe Jack snob. You know. I'm just if I'm being honest. You know.
Wait, putting peppers and cheese is snobbish now? Oh man.
Not really, but yeah, it's all good.
Making a mess. Don't mind making a mess over here.
No worries.
No worries. This will still be the fastest we have ever started the show.
Yeah, pretty much.
So.
Breaking, smashing records. Craziness. Wednesday, October 14th, this GameEnthus podcast episode, let me check, 420, just because that happens after 419. I'm not saying anything. It's just 420. It is what it is. I'm Aaron, one of the hosts here. Tiny is here in front of Stark/Avengers Tower.
That was super awkward. Like that was an awkward way to have a 420 episode opening.
Yeah, at least it's not April, so I could have made it worse.
That's way too much coordination. Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's not fool ourselves here.
No.
So, but yes, I am here. Hey, what's going on?
We are here, and we're here with our special guest once again, joining us, gracing us with his presence and his time, Omari Akil. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Omari.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you back.
I know. I actually was like, wait, I have been on the show before. I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, all of this seems very familiar for some strange reason. Like you sent me the agenda and stuff. And I was like, why does this feel familiar? I was like, oh yeah, I was on the show. I remember now.
Yeah, they seemed organized. They're not really, but the outline helps to fool you. But it's all good. It's all good. I'm glad to have you back. So let's just jump right into this. You have some exciting things happening, I guess, a week from now?
A week from now.
Now.
That is correct. It seems too close, but yeah.
Well, I don't do any of the work. Well, not really. Not as much as you do. So I guess to me, it's like, it's a week from now. But you want to talk about what you have going on with our?
I was going to say, what is going on in a
viewers and listeners?
Oh man. So we're launching our second Kickstarter 1 week from today, October 21st, for a new game. We launched our first Kickstarter was Rap Gods, and this new one is for a new game called Hoop Gods. And yeah, we are trying to introduce street basketball into board gaming a little bit. So yeah, we've been working on it for probably a year and a half now. So I felt like it was time to take the leap.
All right, and very having cool. Played the prototype quite a bit with my youngest child, who has beaten me most of the time. I'm
noticing a trend with adults playing with kids.
They roll faster. I say what I'm gonna do. I say, hey, I'm going to shoot. She's like, all right, I'm gonna block. She moves her juice. She's like, boom, got it. I'm like, I didn't pick up the dice yet. Like, what are we doing?
Smaller hands? I don't know.
Yeah, you got to make the dice heavier. Tungsten or bust. You know what I'm saying?
Aaron, just take it as a compliment of how great a teacher you are.
I hear that a lot. I almost believe it, but I don't really believe that.
Well, because with the pattern with you is you losing. Like it has.
Yeah.
This isn't exclusive to Hoops Gods.
Oh, your brother Humble just said their eyes work better and faster. You ain't lying.
It's the quick twitch muscles.
Yeah, that's the other person who I was referring to. This happens often. Happens to him too.
Yeah, he tweets about it as well because he feels my pain. Like, exactly. It's not even like she gets off more rolls. It's like usually the first roll she has it. I don't even stand a chance.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous.
I'm like, I got nut block. Dang. A tiebreaker is just it comes in handy because even when I do get in there, it's like
sometimes you need it.
Got to break this tie. So yeah. So I mean, what were some of your influences in creating a basketball game that's sort of like you can play it you can kind of take it slower, so it works for people who want to play a little slower, or it works people who are really good with the dexterity. So what were some of your influences in developing Hoop Godz?
Oh, wow, influences is a hard question for this game particularly.
Yeah, I can see
because
why. Yeah, it's not fair. I'm sorry.
I mean, no, it is. It's a fair question. I'm thinking of them now, but I never really thought of them before. But I think what we originally sort of set out to do was actually have dice be more of like the dice were actually part of the strategy of the game. Instead of right now, they're really just used sort of like in a speed, fast, dexterity sort of way. But the original game, we wanted to use dice more as a strategy. And that was actually influenced a little bit by Roll for the Galaxy. Because you just have a big chunk of dice and you roll them and then you get to use them for different things. And that was the original idea, was actually a dice building game. That was a basketball game. But it turned out that those two things don't work exactly well together. So
45,000 dice later.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me not.
That was an influence that didn't necessarily pan out, but it definitely is one that got the game sort of like started.
Okay.
But in trying to simplify it down, I think the game Escape was one that kind of made sense to me. It's also a game that I love to play, where you're similarly rolling dice to just like match symbols, but you're trying to escape a temple. So it has kind of similar mechanics in that way. And I think that, yeah, when I first sort of realized that that was an option, actually, I think somebody else came up with it at a convention. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. I like it. And I was like, oh, I like it because it's Escape. That's what Escape does well that I like so much about it. But then we combined that with this very, very strange strategic sort of movement combined with the energy, the juice system, which is like managing your whole team's energy. And when you run out, you have to rest and to recover and get some more. That actually was something that came. I really like the way in Terra Mystica, there's one of the resources, I think it's Arcana, that sort of like move around this wheel, and they move around this wheel in a really cool way, and you use them and get some back. And that was super interesting to me. So when we were talking about having an energy system where, you kind of needed to lose some and recover some, that game actually sort of, the first iteration, it's not a wheel now, we flattened the wheel into a line, but the first iteration was a wheel, kind of like in Terra Mystica, where your energy would go from like good to bad and you would have to replenish them.
Yeah, by being successful. Hopefully.
Ideally.
Yeah. So
in the best cases.
I mean, I have won. It's just I've lost more. But, but I savored those wins, let me tell you.
Well, yeah, you got to rub those in their faces.
Especially when it's a 3. It's like, it's like, yep, 3 game. Can we go to 10? No, we were going to 7. That's not,
That's it.
Keep that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
is that something you get a lot? Do they want to go play to 10 once reaching 7?
Normally it's like when not at 7, but right before, if they see you starting to come back.
Oh,
it's like, why don't we go to 10? It's like, where were you 5 minutes ago? Like, you know what I mean? And now it's 7. So, in terms of, and one of the things that is strategic about the game, I'm preaching to the choir, I'm explaining it to you like you don't know, is the size of the players you pick. The small, medium, large.
Oh yeah,
that's clutch.
I've seen a lot of in playtesting, people choose weird orientations, and a lot of times they can still do pretty good. I think we did okay to kind of balance out the special abilities, so that if you get all like big ballers, it's not going to like hinder you too much, because that we varied offense and defense on all the different sizes. So yeah, you could theoretically play with all of one size and you still could win. But it makes more sense if you're trying to play a normal type of style of basketball that you get one of each size.
That's what
I'm not going to tell you what to do. Do whatever you want.
That's what I typically tend to do. Or I forgot the character's name. She needs one less ball to successfully score.
Oh yeah, that's Henry.
Yeah,
Henry 4-3. What's Henry's last name? I don't remember.
I can't. Yeah, but that. Yeah, I try to move in with the little juice I have, and then I'm like, well, let's go for it. And that normally works
Henry
out
Webb.
Okay.
Henry Webb is the pure shooter of the game. So yeah, if you're just looking to like throw some shots out from almost half court, that's who you want to get.
Yep. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling that game, and it's coming to Kickstarter the 21st.
The 21st at 10:21 a.m. Eastern time.
Wow. Okay.
10:21 on 10:21.
And not only that, people who have not had a chance to pick up Rap Godz will now have a chance to pick up Rap Godz as well, right?
Yeah, we are going to push our second printing through for that. And so, yeah, it made sense for us to go ahead and just put it in the Kickstarter together so people can, get both at once and really all of it is really supporting the Hoop Gods campaign. But we're excited that we can actually put it in there for people who haven't had a chance to have either at this point.
And there's a lot of interest in Rap Godz as well, so that's good.
Yeah, lots and lots and lots of questions about when we were doing another printing, and there's a whole bunch of details that went into that, and us trying to figure out how to exactly do it in a way that makes sense, because we've been basically sold out since July. So we knew we were going to do it. It was just a matter of figuring out the timing. And once we looked at where Hoop Gods was at in its process, it just made sense to wait a little bit and just put them all together.
Cool. I see some sneakers to your left behind you. Are you a sneaker?
Are we?
Yeah.
A little bit of a sneakerhead. You could say that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a whole shelf. There's a lot of shoes there.
All right. Hey, we all have our things.
I know. Yeah, for me, it's games and sneakers.
You're surrounded by two passions.
Side, right?
Yep. Omari right in the middle.
Hey.
And a Squirtle to boot.
Oh, it's Bulbasaur.
I was.
Oh wow! Yeah,
I was gonna say it. I felt bad. I didn't want to.
Clearly, I'm a huge Pokemon fan. Clearly, it's in my wheelhouse.
Obviously.
Wow. I know Tiny is personally offended by this because
just sad. The original Pokemon.
I know you can't mess those up.
Okay, well,
one of the three starters.
Doesn't it evolve into that or no? I don't know.
No, Squirtle is a turtle.
No.
This is essentially a lizard with a flower on its back.
But that's like a turtle, sort of. I don't know. Pokemon was never my thing. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's wow. Let's just cancel the show.
Literally in the other one's name.
Right.
They're not gonna have two turtles.
Squirtle.
That's true. Yeah. Well, we all make mistakes. So.
And I think you did by not playing enough Pokemon.
Yeah, when it came out, my Game Boy had been retired. I was like, you know what, I'm not really feeling you anymore. Yeah,
that's so strange.
What was that 90? What was that 90? I don't know, 98.
I mean, 96. It comes out in Japan. The end of 97, 98 comes out in the US. Yeah. Like weeks before the TV show shows up.
Although I did watch the show in college, so go figure.
Right. You just didn't play the game?
Just didn't play the game.
Strange.
I didn't bring my Game Boy to college. I brought my Super Nintendo. Of course, the 64 was out, so I got clowned. Why are you playing Super Nintendo? It's like, because I have games for it and I own it. I don't know.
Right?
I don't have it in 64 to play.
I don't understand why you didn't bring your Game Boy, though.
I stopped playing.
I know. It's
what did you do between classes?
College.
I don't know. Talk to people. Listen to music. I don't know. We played a whole lot.
I at least got when you said talk to people, okay, be social. But listen to music means a Walkman with headphones.
Right, that's it.
So,
in the chat,
Walkmans were complicated.
Well, I'll get into that just 1 second. In the chat, it says I'm just about to play a game. Want to pop on and say hello? It's Mandy. Hello, Mandy. Thank you for popping in and greeting us.
Mandy.
Hey, curious what game you're getting ready to play? Is it Pokemon related? And if it is, have you remembered them all? Don't make the same mistake I did.
No, just don't mess up the first 3.
Like literally,
right?
One of the 3 you can pick at the beginning of the game.
Pikasaur, Charizard. How else could I butcher this?
Oh no!
Start saying Digimon. You could just be like,
that would be the worst.
Well, was it Digimon? What was the other bootleg one? Digimon. There's Monster Rancher.
I mean, there was Pocket, like Monster Rancher, where you scan the barcodes.
What was one where you put it in the PlayStation? You could put a CD in a PS1.
That was also Pocket. That was also Monster Rancher.
Monster Rancher.
It would generate a monster based off of the number of tracks, and I think the longest track on the CD, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Fancy.
Well, Tiny, Mandy's getting ready to play Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, all the Life is Stranges are good.
I fell off after the first one.
Before the Storm, though, is that's the one. No one has any superpowers.
Yeah, so what's the point? I mean, there's enough banality in my own life. I play to escape.
Yo, some stuff happens in that game. So, and it's the prequel to when you meet Max, and again, GameEnthus' favorite 2014 teen girl with time manipulation powers game of the year. So,
and by GameEnthus, you mean Tiny's game of the year.
I'm pretty sure we all agreed that was game of the year.
Did we sound like you agreed?
I'm pretty certain.
We're talking about the original one, right?
The first one, yes. We're talking about
the first one was dope. I couldn't do everything. I couldn't save everybody, but yeah, it was good.
The first one, I watched our friend Major Linux play through Life is Strange 2.
He is a big fan. So. He is a big. Omari, you had mentioned Walkmans being difficult to use. Did you
mean, it was clumsy. It was just a clumsy device.
It was fantastic.
Cool at the time, but it was clumsy.
When Auto Reverse came out, you couldn't tell me nothing. I knew every song when it stopped. I mean, it was just like when he says if I switch sides, the song I like even more will start. It was fantastic. And I had forgotten that the original Sony Walkman had what they call it, the hotline. Basically, you could have 2 outputs for headphones. And,
I didn't know that.
And then you could
the first one.
Yeah, and then you could talk. So if you're both listening to the same song, there's a microphone built in, so you could talk to each other. That's pretty neat.
Weird.
Yeah, but they took by the time I had a Walkman, they had removed that feature a long time ago.
Yeah, they're like, nobody uses this.
Yeah.
Why did we put this in?
I think it was to combat the criticisms that I guess you be in your own world, people getting hit by cars, falling into the sewers.
How does having a second person with their own headphones on solve the not getting hit by cars part?
Okay, they fall first and warn you, and then you don't fall. Boom.
It sounds like not a great idea that they realized was not great.
And it made it cheaper to stop doing it. Anyway, we are all over the place. I see you have Kickstarter pain on the outline here. I don't want to make you relive anything, but
no. It's just busy. That's all. It's just very, very, very busy. And it's not pain so much in like a bad sense. It's just like I'm just remembering the first time through, and so you just kind of relive the anxiety kind of approaching the launch and stuff like that, and it's just a lot of work. But overall, I mean, we're I think doing almost everything we need to be doing, and that we had the capacity to do in the time we had to do it. So I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Okay, so for anybody listening who has not done one before, what is the one thing you've learned that you know you're not going to do this time that you did the first time?
That I'm not going to do?
Or maybe that you would do. I don't know.
What's the one lesson that you'd
That's a much better way of asking that question.
It depends on what perspective you're talking about. If you're talking about board games specifically, I would say do a smaller game first. We started with a much bigger game and a much bigger campaign, and I think that added so much stress to the process because it was our first time through, so there were already a lot of things that were rough, just hard to deal with. So really, starting smaller is definitely better, which is only ridiculous because a friend of mine did the exact same thing, made a big game first, was in the process of making a smaller game because he wanted an easier process, and also told me don't do a big game first, like before we actually had our Kickstarter. So I didn't listen. I don't expect anybody to listen to me saying the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm thinking about all the components, and you have all the plaques and everything. Really nice plaques. They have a weight to them too.
Yeah, we originally they were all wood, and they have that nice feel to them. And so we were like, oh, we're changing over to the cardboard. And it's like, well, we can make them somewhat substantial, especially like the big ones, the platinum ones. We were like, at least so you still have a little bit of that feel. We also made them fancy. We put foil on, so they actually shine like real platinum records.
You mean that wasn't actual platinum?
No, sorry.
I've been deceived. What is this?
All right. It's so thin it wouldn't even be worth anything.
Still though, it is nice. I remember showing my buddy Kyle. He was just like, "Wow," because he's seen pictures of it when I brought it over. We played outside.
Yeah.
We were 18 feet away. Just in case anybody's wondering, we had a good time. He was very impressed by the components and just how much there was. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm impressed by how much there is. I look at it and I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of stuff now that we've been working on smaller things for a long time.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to add any pressure to you, but I remember the other game we talked about last time is Oh My Gourds, or what was it called?
Yeah. Were we doing Oh My Gourds at the time? Is that what was happening?
No, I remember you talking about it. I wanted to play it.
Oh, okay.
I still want to try that game out at some point. So
yeah. You can get them on Game Crafter. It's still up there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and we actually have some copies too. So yeah, if you actually want one, I could totally get one.
Okay.
For you. That's
I'll
nice.
have...
They're fun. That game is fun in like such a weird, simple way. We literally came up with that game on a weekend road trip to Tennessee, and we tested it at a convention when we got out there. And then when we got back, we basically launched a Kickstarter the next day. It was just like a rapid fire. This is cool. It's also super simple. Yeah, we designed that game in a weekend. No, I think we wanted to do it the next day as soon as we got back, and we were like, let's just wait till Friday. So I think it was a 7 days from when we started working on it to when we launched the Kickstarter.
That's what's up.
That is.
Yeah, and we just made it really small, really manageable, and yeah, it actually worked out okay.
That's all right. All right. Now, see, it was Food Wars here, and I'm like, what's Food Wars about?
Wait, Food Wars, the anime? Oh,
yeah,
that's what I wrote there. Yeah, because I love that show. That's what I've been watching. I saw everybody else writing shows. I was like, what have I been watching? Literally, it's been Food Wars. I love that show.
What is the premise? I don't know.
I mean, sort of like all anime. You're like a high schooler who's like an expert cook, and you go to this academy for expert cooks, and it's like it's a high school where they just like battle it out by having like food battles, Food Wars. It's pretty amazing.
So I live in a Naruto household, so all I ever hear about is Naruto. Yeah. So
no, this show is wild, and the judges and like how they describe all the food and the taste, how they're so magnificent, and they also make this like really psychedelic visual whenever they're having one of these, whenever they taste something, like the world that is exploding behind them, or they're riding a roller coaster. It's super weird. I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's such a good show. Like, I'm invested in the characters. It's pretty great.
How many seasons are there? And what are you watching it on?
This is on Netflix, and
that
I
helps.
think there are 3 seasons. I think I'm watching the 3rd one. It just got released.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the one my middle daughter was watching. It's about like these kids go to some school, the Promised Neverland or something, where the kids are growing up only to really be like harvested by some creature or something. It's nice and depressing. Oh yeah. And, I'm just like, all right, well, good night.
Sounds like sounds like anime. Something I wouldn't watch probably.
This is delightful. Now I'm depressed.
Yeah.
So
that's a whole genre, just like very sad, depressed, and like sometimes lonely. I think that's a whole genre.
Don't we watch things to escape? At least in theory, there's enough depression. Like,
I don't know.
Wow.
Some people watch to connect.
That's true. You watch for recipes, fantastic recipes.
It's funny, actually. Today I was watching an episode when I was eating dinner, and I realized that like I don't know if these recipes are actually any good. Like if you tried to replicate something from the show, would it actually be good? They don't tell you amounts or anything. They're always just talking about but they name every ingredient because it's like a part of the drama. They're like, I use rosemary, and and there's like a magical scene that happens when they taste it and realize, oh my God, it was the rosemary. It's so great. And
no, it was thyme. No, it's like, okay. All right.
Yeah, you have to at least watch one episode because it's outrageous.
I think I kind of do at this point. I don't know. I feel like I don't have a choice. So
and it's on Netflix. So
it's on Netflix.
Right.
Yeah,
I have somebody's account, so yeah, I'll watch it. Yeah, it might be my own. Who knows at this point?
I actually don't know. Sometimes I'm logged into all 4 or whatever, how many, and I'm like, I know this one's mine.
I think I pay for
the
this
other
one.
ones. I kind of forgot. Yeah.
They all blend together after a while, and then they keep making them. So
yeah, they do. They absolutely do.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you want to share, TV show wise, life wise, sneaker wise, game wise?
Oh, sneaker wise.
Well,
I mentioned I just mentioned it on Twitter the other day, but it keeps happening every time me and my brother are like doing work. Even now, while we're super busy, we still always end up talking about shoes.
Okay.
Almost every time we like are in a meeting working, and then we end up talking about shoes. It's happened so much recently too. I don't know. Maybe it's the stress. Maybe our shoes is our comfort zone, and we talk about them when we're stressed. Who knows? But yeah, that was just a weird thing.
It's a passion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you could also talk about Squirrel behind you. Like it'll be fine. So.
I know. Squirtle. Poor Squirtle. That shoe over there is Pikachu also, that yellow one.
If only Squirtle was Bulbasaur.
Actually, the unevolved form of Pikachu.
Yeah.
So,
I'm never going to live this
not
down.
yet a
That's
chew.
okay, though. I'm okay. That's all right. Since we were talking about TV shows, you ever watch The Boys on Amazon?
I have
Prime?
not. I feel like I am going to watch it eventually, but I haven't
watched The
started
Boys.
yet. Yeah.
They told me about it, and I was like,
kinda
yeah, whatever. And I watched the first season, was like, yo, this is disgusting. I like this. This blood and
This is
snot
disgusting.
everywhere.
I like it.
what if
That sounds like
superheroes
something
were,
I would be into.
What if superheroes were dicks? Like,
Pretty much.
So,
And
so
like,
you watched the end of the second season now?
yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
So, some stuff happened.
Yeah, there was blood and snot everywhere. It was like, I don't know. Especially blood.
I mean, they already announced a third season.
I hope so.
A bunch of heroes joining it. So, like an Iron Man ripoff and a Captain America ripoff.
It kind of ended like happier than I thought. Like you get to like an end of a season, you're thinking like either it's gonna be the everybody's downtrodden, head down. Like man, this everybody was kind of like, all right, you know. Not everybody, but some people were like, okay, I'm all right with the way things turned out.
Well, but like as compared to how season 1 ended, where they start season 2 off, and like this was in the trailers and whatnot as fugitives.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like, I don't know if you could do that again and be like, oh yeah, let's keep these stakes up. So,
they were pretty high.
That's heavy stakes.
so.
I don't want to spoil. I probably said too much. As
They'll
it is.
build it up in the next season.
I mean, if we can give a basic overview. Like the boys are supposed to be a group that keeps. So superheroes are essentially backed by a corporation in this world, and the boys are in the comic. They're a team that's supposed to keep all the superheroes in check that works for the government. In the show, it's a little more
freelance.
Yeah, they're thrown together more as a freelance group.
Okay.
So, and looks like maybe stuff is changing at the end of this season, but it is essentially like, hey, like, what if all the superheroes only cared about like their Q rating, and what if they failed to stop a major attack and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
when they could have easily. But
yeah, it's a lot. But their main adversary is called the Seven, and they're essentially just the Justice League. So it's like a Flash clone and Superman and Wonder Woman and
yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, and it is on Amazon. So if you got Prime,
I do. I know it keeps popping up. That's how I know that it's one I'm probably gonna watch.
Yeah, let me know what you think if you decide to watch it. It's I don't know, it's pretty good. You like violence, right?
Oh, I will. I mean,
theoretically,
if it's integrated with something that feels super different and unique, and it sounds like, and slightly thought provoking, and it sounds like it does that.
What about like so topical, where it's like it's on the nose, but like you're still okay with it? Like,
that too.
Like, what if someone was literally a Nazi? Like, and they were a bad person.
Like for a show that was not as well written, it would be almost like that's analogous to all these things to a fault. But because it's well written, you're like, oh, that's cool.
Gotcha. It sounds well done. I'm into it.
Yeah. All right. And the last thing I was talking about, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Kev on Stage. He used to work for All Dev Digital. Yeah, he's been doing these comedy shows, Keep Your Distance comedy shows, having comedians from all over come and perform. And you can, I think, tickets are like $10-12, and they do them every other weekend, every other Friday. He's been doing them. So then they had the 6th one this past Friday, and it was all female comics. It was the best one they've done. Like it was, it was the best one. It was it's gonna be hard to top that one to me. I don't know. So I really enjoyed that one. I don't think I think it's kind of thing where you have to watch it live, and then they'll have it available for 24 hours after that, and then it's gone.
And that's it.
Yeah, but he'll put up clips, and I think the individual comedians, I think they get whatever their set is, and they can put up clips. So, yeah, I say check that out if you can. I'm not sure who's coming up next weekend, but next Friday. Well, it's fun, and people who do stand up comedy, that's their thing, that's their outlet, and not being able to do it, and then having an outlet is great because. And there's some people, they're kind of on their phones a lot, testing out material that sometimes doesn't work. It's like, they look at their phone.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do it.
Just haven't had a lot of options to test it, though.
True.
Yeah.
True. I mean, Zoom comedy, I don't know. It might not work out the same way.
Can be done, but it sounds hard.
Yeah. Agreed. It can be done. I shouldn't dismiss it outright.
That's what. Done. I don't know if you listened to this was a couple episodes ago on the Beastcast. They had Ron Funches on, and he talked about Zoom comedy. He's like, you just keep talking, like because you can't wait the 30 seconds for the laugh responses that you could have up to. So he's like, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, but that feedback loop is really important, though.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, he was just like, yeah, you shotgun all this, just throw it all out there, see what happens.
So did they get feedback afterwards? Like, we hated everything, but come back next week. I mean, how do you know how well you...
He was saying this as part of a joke, as part of like just talking about it. So he wasn't really, let's say, talking about the serious aspects of the feedback he was getting.
Okay.
So, but yeah, this was on the Beastcast, probably like a month ago now. So, but yeah, I'll run through stuff real quick. Let's start with, we've talked about Lovecraft Country in the past, but I finished watching Lovecraft Country and my TV went back to regular cable because I'm still a sucker who plays for cable. I
need to watch that show. I just haven't. It's on my list.
Don't watch it and then have cats come on the screen when it ends and it goes back to live television. So it just went back to the HBO programming that was on.
Yeah, that seems like it would ruin it.
A little bit.
Because, man, Cats is a real experience.
How did they make that? Like who?
I don't know.
Remember the trailer came out? I was just like, are they serious? I was just
like sometimes it got real ugly too, and I'm like, maybe that's just the TV. Maybe
it's like people hate Uncanny Valley. How about a whole movie of feline?
The whole thing.
Uncanny Valley. So
that's what everybody wants.
That's what everyone wants from this classic musical that a lot of people are very.
Where's my checkbook? Throw it at the screen.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, I watched that, and
you watched the whole thing.
No, I watched like the second half because I could not look away. and I was like,
what is the actual plot of Cats?
Well, so it follows multiple streams of
cat consciousness.
Yeah,
gotcha.
the plot is actually everywhere.
Like it's weird, and like also there's characters in the movie that like I don't know if I could have named their character in the musical. So I watched. I was like, I just watched to be like, which actor is that? Oh, look, it's Jason Derulo, or it's Ian McKellen.
That's a fun game. I would play that game.
Judi Dench. But Dame Judi Dench can't see anymore, so that's just a really sad, like.
Her character can't see.
No, Judi Dench is like legally blind. I believe she developed cataracts, kind of deal.
Oh.
So like she cannot see.
Well,
so,
how long has she been blind?
Like a couple of years now.
Why did I not know this?
So it's like, this is because you wouldn't know it if you watched, I guess, Cats or.
I mean, I run her Twitter account. I should know these kinds of things.
One of the later James Bond movies. So, but anyway, so Cats.
Go figure.
Ooh, it was a weird experience. Other stuff on TV, real quick. I've been meaning to mention this. I watched Glitch Techs.
What is that?
Oh yeah, I like that.
That is a Nickelodeon show that friend of the show Mike Micah is a consultant on.
Oh.
So the premise is, what if video games essentially ran off an element, and apparently if they glitch, like the glitch enters the real world. And so these kids are essentially tech support, but they also have to be great gamers, and it's an animated show.
Someone took like a Nintendo counselor corner and like said, what if we injected like ridiculous?
What if they were superheroes? Yes. Like what if they like ran around with like high-tech gauntlets that let them defeat the glitches? And then what if we put a bunch of video game references in there?
Yeah, there's a ton of that.
Yeah, like especially
it's nice.
In the second season, and Mike's been on the show, and if you ever watch his Twitter account, there's a ton of stuff he'll talk about. But like they put stuff about like the developer of Centipede is really the name of the town is based on her name.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll go through and like you can even see people, including Mr. Mike Micah himself shows up animated in the show at one point. So it's real good. It's on Netflix. I think it's 2 seasons right now. The second season came out in September.
I watched the first. I'm gonna look at the second probably after I finish Food Wars.
That was a lot of fun. I just for some reason haven't been putting down stuff that I've watched. The other thing I watched was Utopia, which is out on Amazon.
I heard about that.
John Cusack's in this. What have you heard about this?
I just know Rainn Wilson had a little thing in it.
He is also in it. Yeah. But
I mean, I've heard it was like a little brain bendy.
It's definitely. So Utopia is the name of a comic book, but supposedly, and it's the sequel to Dystopia. And if you read Dystopia and looked like very closely at the pictures, you could see it forecasting events that were going to take place. So like. There was a leaf that was shaped as Uganda, and then these other pieces that indicated essentially a pandemic that started from a bat. And like you could see this all in the art. So the people now want to get Utopia, the sequel to it, to see if they can figure out, hey, what is going to happen? What is the next tragedy that's going to befall man kind of deal.
So is Nick Cage going to show up in this, or
No, it is
the precogs from Minority Report? Like what was?
It is so weird. Like they kill characters like you're not anticipating at all. You're like, what's going on here? Like,
do you care about these characters? You just are not anticipating the death.
I mean, there was one character I was very surprised they killed her off very quickly. And I'll leave it at that. But I think if you got to the end of the show, you'd be like, well, she probably might like actually align with the bad guy. So maybe this was a good thing.
Whose side are you on?
So, well, again, there's some stuff. Yeah, there's some stuff in it, and it is its first season, and I believe they're making another one. But you should check it out. It is not for young people, as in children.
Gather around,
probably
children.
Teens.
Utopia is on the television.
But yeah, so check that out. Other than that, I'll also mention, I don't know if anyone else saw this, the Hulu announcement that bringing Animaniacs back next month.
I saw the video.
That's so lovely. I'm so excited.
And they couched the advertisement, the announcement for it in a Jurassic Park short. Just reanimating the, like, when Dr. Grant and Ellie Sattler, or Dr. Sattler and Malcolm, and everyone gets to the park for the first time, and they're in the Jeeps, and they're like, oh, it's a yeah. But instead of it being a dinosaur, it is wacko.
The Warner Brothers and sister.
Yeah, and sister. So, and then they also announced they're doing Pinky and the Brain. So,
and the Rocket Guy said Dexter is coming back too.
What?
Dexter the Killer or Dexter the Laboratory? Dexter's Laboratory.
That's a whole other show, isn't it?
I don't know, because Dexter isn't very descriptive to some.
We need more descriptive words.
So, like,
I think it's Dexter's Laboratory.
For us talking about Animaniacs, I would assume so, but just saying Dexter isn't that show. So who knows?
That's a kid show. It's very educational. You learn the countries of the world, and it's educational.
I learned how to say omelet in French.
Omelette du fromage.
Yeah, they said it like a million times in that
whole episode.
It's when I called it back a few times too, which was nice later.
I wish I watched more of it. I don't remember. I was more of a Tiny Toons fan, and then by the time Animaniacs came out, I was kind of like, I appreciate it. I just don't remember that much of it. So
it was.
I mean, Animaniacs was on the same afternoon you're watching Batman. Like,
was it?
We are.
I definitely watched Batman
the animated series. So
and the pigeons, I think, were my favorite from Animaniacs. The pigeons,
I remember the pigeons.
The mafia pigeons.
Mafia.
Yeah, I think they were absolutely my favorite.
And then the last thing I'll talk about real quick. I don't know. Person I have met in real life several times and worked with. Some Call Me Johnny and his YouTube group are going to be doing their Extra Life campaign this year, and they are giving away a 40th anniversary PacMan arcade machine as part of that, because they're playing 24 hours of PacMan games called PacMan Fever this year. So if you check out his Twitter or whatnot,
the good
you can see the details.
That's what they were called.
Were any of the 3D Pac-Man games any good? I feel like I'm not recalling.
They were okay.
I feel like people that were young at that time liked them, but I didn't play Pac World or any of those.
They were much worse 3D platformers you can play than the Pac-Man ones. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
So I don't know if that helps.
So
I mean, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go check that out, and they'll be doing that game day weekend, which is November 7th.
What was the DS Pac-Man game where you would just basically draw Pac-Man and it would animate and move on the screen? Pack and Pix or something. Pack and Draw.
That's weird.
I thought Pack and Draw sounds like it might be the right one, because I thought Pack and
something.
Pick was like part of that 7 Pac-Man game collection.
Oh, like the little anthology thing.
Oh.
Also, Mario Brothers said it was Good Feathers. That's the name of the.
Good Feathers.
Good
Feathers. That makes a lot of sense.
That's such a great name.
It like writes itself too.
Right? It's so good. Good Feathers. Oh man.
I'm funny to you?
They're
like funny
awesome.
like how? Like
Yeah. Those dudes were awesome.
Yeah. So I mean that's
4 hours of Pac-Man
quick stuff
games.
we'll go over. Yeah, 24 hours of Pac-Man. I mean, they're playing they also in the whatever video ad thing they did, like original Pac-Man, what was the one that came in on 360? Aaron?
Championship, Pac-Man, Pac-Man Fever. Well, Pac-Man
Pac-Man
Championship.
XD
Halfway remember
Championship,
that.
whatever.
Those games were dope though. Like once you really get going, they were pretty cool.
The like point and click adventure Pac-Man game where I think
wasn't
it's not really
good.
point and click, but you're like throwing rocks at him to make him move which way
That
you
was
want him to go.
Pac-Man 2, The New Adventure, right?
Yeah, something like that.
That was awful.
Oh, that's strange.
But you're using a Genesis pad to like move around essentially a mouse.
Or a
cursor.
Super Nintendo, because the awfulness was spread around. So.
But yeah.
Do you remember that 7-Up Spot game that was on Genesis?
Cool Spot.
That was decent.
Cool Spot.
Yes.
Yeah, that was actually a good game. I was just thinking about round characters. I don't.
Yeah, he was
It
wrong.
just popped into my head. Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember one of them was good. One of them was terrible. I think the Genesis one was good. Maybe the Super Nintendo one was bad, or the other way around.
Yeah, I think I played the Genesis one.
Remember the Yo Noid game for the Nintendo?
For the original Nintendo.
Yeah. It was a
The
different
Noid
game in Japan.
The
They
Noid
took
is
it-
gonna ruin your pizza or whatever.
Yeah, it was a Domino's pizza thing.
Oh, that Noid. Yep, I remember that.
Yep.
Or the weird McDonald's games that like wait.
No, the Genesis one was dope though. The one made by Treasure.
Okay.
Ronald McDonald and some. I have it over there somewhere. I don't know.
I only have an image of like a screen cap with the Hamburglar on it. I'm assuming the Hamburglar was in one of those games.
He had to have been.
Right. Probably.
That's the only like pixelized McDonald's thing that I can see right now.
Yeah,
I would assume he was definitely in McKids.
They had a lot of characters. I was telling my kids, I was like, they used to have the Fry
Yeah.
Guys, the McNuggets.
Yeah.
They had all the things that you ate, but they wanted to make them living, even though
That
you wanted
purple
to eat
thing,
them.
which was
Grimace.
not
Grimace.
food. Grimace.
Which means to frown, but he's always smiling. It makes no sense.
That's true.
So,
It was a psychological thing. They were
Birdie.
selling you on McDonald's with Grimace.
yeah. Mayor McCheese.
There was a Mayor McCheese. I do not remember
I think
that.
I'm showing my age.
Oh yeah, I
here.
do. He had a little tie on. He was
Yeah.
a cheeseburger with a little tie.
Yep.
I do remember that. This is ridiculous.
They had a lot of characters, man.
I mean, they also
They
had
so
what
many.
Mac at Night. What was the?
Oh, the big moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The,
I
like,
don't think he interacted with the.
But
other
that
ones, though.
that was not to sell to kids. That was to sell to, I don't know, hip teens. I guess. I don't know why you. It was the
No
90s.
idea.
It was weird.
It's all
Yeah,
weird.
that's very true.
So,
Yeah,
but,
good advertising.
but yeah. Aaron, where do you want to go with this?
Let's talk about some games. So, Omari, what games you been playing?
What games have I been playing? Oh man.
Or making.
I wish I had a good answer for that. Let's see. I wrote something down because it's so hard for me. I have playing board games at least. The two that I managed to get on the table was Tiny Towns and Windward. It's back there. Yeah, Windward.
Squidward.
Not Squidward. It's actually the opposite of Squidward. It's like an airboat game.
Okay.
Yeah, those two. I mean, I love Tiny Towns. I've been wanting to get it for a long time. I finally got it during the pandemic, and like I probably played that more than anything else.
Do you play with the AEG guys? They play, I think, every weekday at noon.
Yeah, at noon.
Yeah.
No, I haven't yet, and I definitely want to. So I need to do that soon. But yeah, it's been cool. That one was really cool. And then Windward is a Kickstarter I backed so long ago, almost completely forgot about it. And I played it solo. It was kind of complicated. I wanted to try and figure it out first before I offered to play with anybody else. But I messed up the rules very badly.
I do that every
So
time.
I got to do it again.
That's
Yeah,
my
and it was
gift.
something. It was like the most obvious thing and I read it like 4 times. And I remember reading it, and then every time I needed to actually do the right thing, I failed. So I got to go back and redo it because I was like, why is this so easy? And then I realized exactly why it was so easy, because I missed a very important rule.
What are the mechanics in Windward?
So it's pretty straightforward actually. When I first started reading the rules, I thought it was more complex than it was, but it's pretty straightforward. You have an airship, and you're basically trying to pick up air so you can like continue to fly or whatever. And you also have shipmates, and so you can hire shipmates to like make your ship slightly better. But mostly you're trying to attack these giant creatures that apparently have some very weird resource that you can
Unobtainium.
farm from them. Yeah, it's something like that. And so you're trying to do that, but there's a process to it. So it's like a pick up and deliver game, but you have to pick them up and you have to process them on your ship before you can drop them off. And the whole time you're doing it, like anytime you go into a territory with another one, it sort of follows you a little bit. So you're like, yeah, it's kind of a back and forth. And when you have the special resource or whatever on your ship, and you're either before or after you're processing it, another ship, one of your opponents can just come and like destroy you and take all the stuff. So it's like a little bit pirate-like in that way, I haven't played a 2-player game, but I think that is a harder task than I'm making it sound like. I think you have to try really hard to do that. But I had fun with it, even though I wasn't or I didn't follow the rules. But I like the way it sort of played out, where you're trying to find patterns and really what's the best route to get from point A to point B. But you know that these things are going to collapse on you. So you're just trying to like find optimal paths through this weird world. And there's actually blocks everywhere. It's a hex grid. And so there's a bunch of them that you just can't go into no matter what. So you're always like kind of weaving and moving. But of course, the best part is the wind. Which I'm just obsessed with wind in board games. I don't know why. Every time I see a wind mechanic, I'm like, I want that game. It's kind of sad.
That's an interesting quote. I'm obsessed with wind mechanics.
Seriously, every single time I see a game that has one, I'm like, it's brilliant. Let me buy it. But this one is sort of standard, but I still loved it anyway. But basically, you can go in any direction, or you can go as far as you want in the direction of the wind on your turn, no matter what. Like you can move unlimited spaces in that direction, as long as you don't hit anything, of course. But you're constantly thinking about that. Like every time you roll a dice to see where the wind is, you're like, okay, how can I? Because movement is actually very expensive. So you're trying to like, you can go all the way across the board, sort of, if you just get lucky, right? So that I think it adds a lot to the game. I mean, it has wind in the title, so I hope it would be good. Then that would be a key element of it.
Yeah.
So this thing is
that's actually, I saw the
mechanics.
title first, and I was like, I bet that game has a wind mechanic. And I clicked on it, and I was like, yes, it does.
It does. That's just so specific. It's like, all right, I understand what you're saying, but does it have a wind mechanic? Okay, like, no, I'm not.
I don't know. I'm real into it. Can't explain it.
What about Michael Jordan, Chaos in the Windy City? Does that? No? Okay.
I remember that game.
That's a terrible game.
It was a fighting game. It was like a side scroller.
Yeah, it was a platformer.
It's a side platformer.
Yeah.
That was not a good game.
Weird.
It was better than.
I mean,
it was kind of better. It was better than Shaq Fu.
But you also have to remember at that time,
know.
like Michael Jordan was in the Pro Stars with Bo Jackson and Wayne Gretzky.
Yes, he was.
They were like superheroes with sports powers. Like
with sports powers.
Michael Jordan could do no wrong in the cartoon, like video game universe at that point. So
no, not even a little bit. He was just everywhere.
Exactly.
It ended with Space Jam, sort of.
Until he was the villain in Shut Up and Jam Barkley Gaiden, the RPG that someone used the Charles Barkley basketball game to make.
Was it the first one or the sequel they used it to make the RPG?
Well, I mean, there are 2 RPGs based on.
Oh, so maybe one of each.
Barkley. Games. Right, but I'm almost certain in the first one, like the villain, or either he's the villain or he's like the key henchman is actually Michael Jordan in like a hood. So you don't know.
Was that game just called Barkley Shut Up and Jam?
Yep.
Was that the name?
That's the name of the NBA, like the actual basketball game.
And then Barkley Shut Up and Jam 2.
Right, and then the RPGs are.
Apparently somebody started talking again. They need to shut up again. So it's like, go figure.
Seriously, so weird.
It wasn't a good game.
No, I remember that one too.
I didn't own it, but yeah. So
I think my brother had it. He's in chat. He could tell you. I think he had it.
Does he want to admit it? I guess is the question.
That's another question. I can't answer that one for you. Do not know if he's gonna admit it.
Oh,
what else have you been playing? Oh, sorry.
A little bit of a few Switch games. That's really all I can get into lately. So yeah, I was playing a lot of Slay the Spire. I just recently put it down and started playing Hades, which is kind of a secret because I don't have any time to play it. So I've been limiting myself to like 20 minutes when I can grab it.
Good game.
I'm like, all right, that's it. It's a good game. I'm planning on starting over though, because I don't know. The first couple times I played it, I was just like, this is weird. I don't know what's happening, which I think is everybody's experience. Now I'm kind of going through it. But I want to start over because I was not intentional in the beginning. And I think I did some weird stuff. So
But I think the way it's laid out, I don't think, do you really have to start over? I don't know.
I mean, it's a rogue like
it's
like essentially you restart your runs every time after you die every time, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But there's a little bit of like weird progression choices you have as you go along. Like I was just spending the resources that I got on all the wrong things.
Okay.
Like weapons that you didn't really need, or were like, I thought this would be good, but this isn't.
Yeah, or like decorations for the house.
Maybe get that bow and arrow next time.
For the house you're running away from?
Yeah, you have to
see. I have not gotten this far yet.
it.
Yeah, I have not gotten this far yet.
I mean, you have options. You don't have to do that.
You think about Ving Rhames' guns and butter speech and from Baby Boy. It will lead you in the right direction.
Will it?
Is there a lot from Baby Boy that you take inspiration from?
Just the guns and butter part.
Just checking.
No, I'm just glad. I'm glad that came out. It's been a while. I needed to think about that. Thank you, Aaron.
I'm glad I'm here to help. I'm here to help.
Appreciate it.
Also, your brother did admit that he had Barkley shut up in jail. He said
he did have it. I knew he had it.
He said I
so
hated
bad.
it though.
It was such a bad game.
Hey, they gave him money. I mean, it's like, hey.
I mean, and he was. I mean, at that point, he would have been the bad boy in Philadelphia. So.
No, he played for the Suns by that point, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he was at the Suns.
Yeah, he played for Phoenix then. Yeah,
I think he was on Phoenix's team at that point.
Because I was a big Phoenix fan.
What?
Oh, I wasn't a Phoenix fan so much later.
Oh. When like Omari Stoudemire was there, or?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Plays for the Suns now. I don't know.
I have no idea. No, his name was kind of like mine. That was like one of the first celebrities that almost had my name. So like I got that a lot. And then I was like, I'm gonna pay attention to this dude. And I was like, oh, you're actually good. I like your play style. So yeah, kind of like the fun Suns back then.
No, I remember I had a wow, I'm going back. I'm reminiscing here. The pullover starter jackets.
Well, yeah,
I had a Suns one, but it was the black. But it was black with the purple. You couldn't tell me anything back in the day with that jacket. It's still in my parents' house. It's still there.
That jacket.
Why?
Because it is. I don't know.
I was gonna say
if you have a starter jacket right now, it is back in. You can totally wear it. I wish. I don't even know. Did I have one? I feel like I had like a Dallas Cowboys one, which I'm not proud of.
I had a Bills, I had a Miami Hurricanes one, and I had the Suns was my favorite one though.
Yeah, the Suns one actually sounds good.
Georgetown Hoyers, like a college team starter jacket. Like
they made those too.
Yeah,
yeah. I remember seeing like either UNC or Duke, which is weird because I lived in New Orleans, but I remember seeing one of those.
Okay, he left the Sixers in '92, so I'm wondering.
Yeah, he definitely played for the Suns then.
Yeah,
'92 to '96. So I forgot he was on the Houston Rockets after the Suns, though.
That is right. He played with
really?
Hakeem Olajuwon, right?
For 4 years, he was on the Houston Rockets. I'm like,
wait, Olajuwon?
But he didn't win a championship thoe. He wasn't with them when they won.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he must not have been with them when they won. But that's a shame because he never got a championship.
Wait, was Dwight Howard there by the time they won?
Who?
On the Rockets.
The Rockets? No, I don't think they've won since Elijah won.
Championships are 94 and 95.
Yeah.
So
basically, when MJ left, it was like, all right, let's win. It's like, before he comes back, let's go. So, yeah, do what you have to. All right.
Guess so.
Slay the Spire. I like that game, but I kind of stopped playing it because it wasn't working out for me.
I've never won all the way. I've never beat the heart ever.
I've come nowhere close.
Yeah, I can get to the heart, but I can't beat it. And I kind of, in theory, know how, but I just get lazy and I do the things that I know I probably shouldn't if I actually want to go all the way. I just make bad choices because I'm getting lazy or sleepy. And that's usually the case. I'm like half falling asleep while I'm playing. Yeah.
That's not a good way to play Slay the Spire. Yeah.
No, you mess yourself up all the time.
Real bad. Real bad. Good game though.
Oh, and then I had the one of the joysticks, the one that you actually like select the cards with, was drifting. So sometime I would like move to the card I want to play and then try to press the button and it would move to the next card and I would play the wrong card. And I was like, oh no, this is terrible.
And you are playing on the Switch, correct?
Yeah.
Nintendo trying to say that Joy-Con drift doesn't impact anyone. Just very sad.
Didn't that whole thing go to arbitration?
I saw that was their last argument. I want to say last week, but I don't know.
Well, they basically are offering free replacement repairs on their website because I actually did it. Actually, I should probably. I should probably go look at that.
I did it for the first go round, but I haven't done it. I never use my Joy-Con. Well, I use one because I bought one of those ones. I bought one of the ones with the D-pad on it. So I use So I don't.
I like those hoary ones.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I like an actual D-pad. Who knew? So.
People knew. Somebody knew.
Yeah. But the separate button thing, I was like, I don't think this is going to really be good, like, going forward. But, All right. Anything else you've been playing?
Oh, that's honestly basically it. I wish I would have. I wanted to play more Skater XL. I got that the first day it came out, and I played it for like a solid week. Really, really loved it. But it's the kind of game where you actually have to keep playing it to get better. Like
I don't want to do that.
Put it down for too long and come back. Yeah, it's like you're learning how to skate again. That's what it felt like when I left it for a while and came back. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna have to put this in a rotation so I can actually get better at it. But I had so much fun though. I'm very much into skateboarding too. So I tried to do it a little bit, but never really, really actually committed. But yeah, it was fun. I wish I would have had more time with that. That's all. I stopped playing that like right around the time I stopped playing Slay the Spire too.
But you do have a game coming to Kickstarter, so you have something to show for it.
Oh, no, of course.
Like I stopped playing the game and have nothing to show for it. It's like, well, I made a sandwich. It was good. It's gone.
Aaron, what are you talking about? You have your list of games that you're about to go over. So.
Maybe. I haven't completed anything. Were you a fan of Skate? Skate 1, 2, or 3?
Oh, I was absolutely addicted to those. I played those non-stop. Like I probably 100%ed one of them. I think Skate 2. I think Skate 2 was the absolute best of all of them. I really, really like those games. Yeah. I'm actually like, because they're remastering Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. And I'm actually like not looking forward to that. Like the gameplay was just so strange. And I know it's gonna be the same experience. And I remember loving it when it was first out. But I feel like that style game just doesn't appeal to me anymore. I feel the same way about SSX games. Like I loved the SSX games. Probably Tricky was my favorite. But
that was my favorite. That's what I played most, I should say.
Yeah, I definitely played that one the most. But then I went back and tried to play the SXS games, like some of the later ones, and I just like didn't enjoy it as much. And I was like, man, I guess.
Well, Tricky was where it peaked to me. Yeah.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
So
that was the perfect one for me.
There's only SSX 3 after that, and then
wasn't there one for the Wii or something?
They had 2 that had the name Tricky in it too. I thought.
Oh.
I thought it was like Tricky and then like Tricky XL or something like that.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I know Tony Hawk had that. Like the Xbox version got Tony Hawk 2 XL, which had like a bunch of Tony Hawk 1 stuff in it.
Oh, that might be what I'm thinking about is that one, yeah.
So, but I mean, the remake for Tony Hawk 1 and 2 is very good until my nephew stole it from me. So
and by stole it, you mean you?
I offered to let him keep it or hold on to it, and he did. So,
Gotcha.
but see, that doesn't make as well for radio. So, so yeah. So, but anyway, Aaron, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I'm playing some Hoop Gods. I've been playing that.
That's something.
Gotta hit that low hanging fruit, guys.
Yeah, man, that's a fun game. It's a fun game. We like bringing it to the table. I got to get those wins up, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it.
Working on it.
It's a work in progress. I'm also previewing a game called Space Dinos from Peyote Games. Tile placement, some dice
I just
manipulation.
saw something about that yesterday. Yeah, okay.
Actually, I recorded the preview today, but something happened with my microphone, and I have to do it again. So I guess this time I can make less mistakes. That's the goal. So yeah,
there you go.
We'll see what happens.
It was a good first run. That's all.
Yeah, actually 2, but that's you ever play a game called Trellis?
Ooh, yes, I actually have. I tried that game at Gen Con, I think, either last year or maybe the year before. Yeah, it was interesting. I remember, it's basically you're just placing tiles down and trying to kind of create these paths of certain flowers or something like that.
It's funny that you look at a box and it says like time estimate 20 to 30 minutes. Yeah, we were doing that thing in like maybe 15, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
It can go real fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
It was good.
It had been in shrink wrap like forever. And actually it was Kathy from Peyote, who's the designer of Space Dino. She was tweeting about it. I was like, I should play it because I own it. I'm like, well, I have this game. So I finally took the shrink wrap off, put it down. Directions were like, 3 pages. I'm like, we can do this. So it was fun. I won most of the time.
I do remember that. I remember sitting down to play it, and we opened it up and took out the instructions. It was like, oh, this is really simple.
Yeah.
Let's play.
And also, there were
nice.
4 or 5 different sets of instructions in different languages. I don't often see that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, wow. That is a lot. Yeah.
So that was all right. What else? Scribble Town.
Trellises in general are more of a European thing, maybe.
Okay. That makes some sense. What else have I been playing? It's added to my video off. So hey, Tiny, it's you.
What just happened?
Oh, Aaron, I forgot you. Yeah.
Yeah, I signed it as you. Anyway, I was playing.
Account,
we played a bunch of games over the weekend, so I introduced folks to some people, I guess, a reintroduction to Splendor. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, Mario, you played Splendor before?
A million times.
Yeah, so you get it. Like, okay, you play Splendor as like a sort of an engine building game where you want to build up enough permanent resources so you can just take cars as you want them.
Ish, yeah, sort of.
Sort of the goal, because you can get the the nobles or whatever, and then get the regular cars. Get you 15 points, you win. I play with 3 people who don't play like that. They would like.
How do they play?
They would take cars that would have like 3, 4, 5 victory points, and then take a gold. They take like more than one of those cars and just work on those. So I'm over here building an engine, like crafting it, and they're winning, and I'm like, why? Like
they just like they reserve the cars,
Yeah.
they reserve the big ones, and just go after the ones that they have in their thing. That's super weird.
And I'm
I
sitting
don't even
there
understand how that works.
It'd be one thing, like if you had 4 people playing and 3 built engines and 1 played like that, they would lose. But when you have 1 person building an engine, me, and 3 people playing that way, I lost.
How? I don't even know how that works. How that can be effective. I guess it works in the sense that like they end up hoarding a lot of the chips, which makes it harder for you to build an effective engine.
Yep.
You probably end up just like stumbling through. Yeah, that's real strange.
I was a little frustrated. I'm thinking, I'm like, well, let me explain like how this works. And they're playing, it's like, nah, that has a 5 on it, so I'm taking this. I'm like, well, you don't have enough. It doesn't matter. I'll get there. And they did. And I was like, wow.
That is real strange.
That was
I guess
rough.
they accumulate more gold chips if they're doing that like more than once. I have no idea how that is effective.
I didn't think it would be either. But I never played with anybody like that before, so that's I don't know. Played some pizza from Amusing Games. I've talked about this a couple of times. You are making slices of pizza for different customers. It's it looks busy, a lot of pieces, but it's fun. I don't know. It's pizza. How can you go wrong?
You're making pizza.
You're making pizza.
Sounds terrible. You want pizza now.
I had pizza earlier. Point salad. That's a favorite here. Folks love
point salad. I do too. It's such a ridiculously good game for how simple it is.
It's tight too, and I always lose, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't come in last, but yeah, that's a good one.
I forget about it because I don't own it. I used to host game nights at this bar, and one of the other guys who would come all the time, he always brought it, and I was always happy. It's like, thank you, Matt, for bringing point salad.
It is very simple, but yeah, it's something where you play it, people are like, yo, let's run that back. I like that. Yeah. Even if they lose, let's play it again, and then that's a good game right there. Still playing more. Another one that my family really has latched on to is Fairy Season. They really like that game.
I don't know that.
You're putting out cards are from season start. It starts in spring, so it goes spring through the winter, and in each season there's a 1 through 8. So you can only put down either the same card or a card that's higher, but you can't go from spring to fall. You either go from spring to summer, summer to fall, so on and so forth. And then there's like goblin cards where like you can take other people's cards. Basically, you're trying to stash away as many fairy cards as possible, but it gets cutthroat. So it's the fam gets real serious about it. It's hitting the table a lot as of late. So and wifey likes it.
It's my favorite like small cutthroat card game. Arboretum.
I have not played that. I want to though.
Oh man, it's so cutthroat, and it's such a straightforward game. But like, it's the only board game I think that I've ever played where I've had opponents end with 0, potentially negative points.
Do they want to play again, or
are you eliminated from the game if you end with negative points?
Can you flip the table at that point? Like, how does this work?
Is it Jeopardy rules?
You don't do any scoring until the absolute end, and you actually don't know. Like, nobody knows throughout the game how many points anyone has, because it's all based on what's in your hand at the end of the game. So it's it's based on that. You kind of know because you're building like an arboretum. But nothing on the table matters unless you have the right cards in your hand. So it's like seriously blind scoring at the end, and then you find out who actually scored points, and people can legit score 0. Like, it's not even hard to score 0. But you're not careful.
They know they have 0, right? It's not like a surprise.
No, it is a surprise. It's an absolute surprise. Nobody knows until the end of the game how many points they have. You can sort of guess, and if you've been paying very close attention and like halfway counting cards, then you might be able to know like one color that you might be able to score that one for sure. Like, you could, if you're looking at the cards carefully, you might know, okay, I'm definitely going to score this one, but there can be a ton of question marks and you could end up scoring 0. And it's great because the whole time, like, everybody is holding the card that you need to score. Like, that they are, you absolutely know. And you're just like, oh, give it to me. And they know you need it, so they won't. And it's just like this constant balance. It's crazy.
I need to play this game.
Yeah.
We need to play this game.
It's going to feel really funky because of the way it sort of plays out at the end. But once you get it, it's like, oh man, this is great.
Okay, I've heard good things, but I haven't heard this about Arboretum. So that's
like the only time I met a designer and I was totally fanboying. That was the only time.
I watched the hope fade from someone's eyes when they realized they scored negative points. You were my hero.
Yeah. Dan Cancer.
You like trees? I like trees. I don't know. He's like, we both like trees.
It was so funny. It was the first time somebody was like, that's Dan Casser. And I was like, what? Like I was like, what'd you just say? Yeah. I was like, can I meet him?
There's nothing wrong with that. That's cool.
No, yeah.
It's gonna happen to you once people can,
I really hope not. That's
go places again.
so much. That's too much. That's
the guy who designed rap guys and who. That's dude. That's Omar.
No, I'm not ready for that yet. I'll go on the record to say I'm not ready for that yet.
Like Michael Jackson and Moonwalker. Get him. You know what I'm saying?
And you're just dropping a bunch of movie references that I'm like, I didn't know I needed that today.
This is why I'm here. I don't know.
Thanks.
All right. It says I'll try to be quick because I do have a list. I'm also previewing Shadow Network from Talon Strikes, 60s Cold War era, worker placement, sort of set collection, tableau building. You're collecting intel. You're a spy collecting data. You have to leak data. That's when I asked my 11-year-old if she would play. She's like, yeah, I'll play. And I'm setting it up. She's like, Dad, I don't know. She's like, Dad, it's complicated. About a half an hour later, she got it. I mean, I did win because I understood the mechanics because I had played, with some of the publishers and stuff on TTS, but she got it though. It's a lot of fun. Very nice components. Like most of the pieces are these little half briefcases where you're trying to build cute. Red, green, purple, blue to fulfill contracts. So you basically have a card, you want to fulfill it before the game ends because you lose points if you don't. But then if you go to certain cities, like they're black market cities where you can get new handlers who can swap certain information. This one handler might take 2 yellow and give you 3 blue, or take a green and give you a red. Very nice. It's Talon Strikes goes all in on just the theming, and they also make they publish vinyl. Different designer though. Designer of Shadow Network is Rafael Rosario. That's another good one. This is an interesting one. I checked this one out on Tabletopia.
You're gonna show this, right? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this one. So this is Cindr. So this is the game where this is a.
I know Cindr.
You know Cindr? So there's a play on Tinder.
I did a video about that. That was one of my first breakdown episodes. Was actually about Cindr.
Was it? I'll have to go check that out. This is an interesting. This premise is so funny.
Have you played it yet?
I played it on Tabletopia or I think it was TTS, one of them. It's fun. It's goofy as all the way.
It's so goofy, and like you if you're into that, then you absolutely love it. Like there's enough game there to make it interesting, but like it's goofy, and I think that's the whole point. Which I thought it was great.
So you're like an elf or like a vampire dating, like it's like Tinder, but like you're dating dragons.
So it's fantasy Tinder.
Yes.
Yeah, you're matching with dragons.
Yep. So one of the things is if you roll the dice and you get flames, that's bad. I mean, your dates aren't going well. So I had a successful date with this one dragon. So when you have a successful date, the car kind of stays in your like pool or whatever. Somebody, I guess they're like in your black book. It's somebody you can call, essentially. So my turn comes back. I'm thinking, well, let me go on another date with this person because it worked out so well the last time. I rolled 3 flames. It was immediate. And we almost matched up. I had 3 green dice. I didn't understand how it happened.
And you got all of them bad.
Yeah. So
no, there were some neat mechanics there. Just like how you pick your profile, like you create your profile, and then that determines like how you match with somebody in the dice that you get.
Red, blue, green. Yes, it's definitely interesting. So that's published by Smirk and Dagger. I think they're going to be demoing it for an event. I'll have the link in the show notes. There's an event this weekend. They'll be doing a bunch of demos and stuff. So that was cool. I need to bring this one to the table too. This one is a Scribble Town. It's a nice roll and write where you are.
Scribble Town.
You're creating a city, but like putting certain, like you put 2 parks and like a home together, it creates a church. If you put 2, a school and something else together, it creates this. You're trying to earn points and draw like a road that connects all these things together to earn the most points. It's pretty fun.
Interesting. Yeah, it sounds. I'm curious about it just based on Yeah, the description of
I
how
think
you
there's a roll and write version of it as
build
well.
things.
I'm not wrong. I mean, it's a roll and write. I think there's a print and play version of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So if I'll try to leave that in the show notes as well. Checked out. That's funny. I've had Imhotep on my show for like a year, and it's still in the shrink wrap.
Yeah, I haven't played it either.
It's dope.
That I don't know that and Jaipur. Like I don't have either of them.
I've
but
heard of
I've been
Jaipur.
next to people playing them all the time, and I've never actually been able to, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, Imhotep is good though. You ever play on Yakata? It's not quite as good as Board Game Arena, but it does automate some of the analog games so you can play them online.
Yeah.
So I actually played with somebody today. It's pretty cool. You're basically just shipping stones to different areas, and you're just competing with somebody to get your stones more prevalent in some areas to earn certain cards, get points to build obelisks. It's pretty cool. I need to open it up this weekend. We need to check it out because it's quite fun. We played. I don't know if Matt's watching. Actually, that was the little jingle we heard. I think Cool Games Matt might have followed me on Twitch. Anyway, we played his game, Composition. It's a word game with mostly animals where you can kind of spell their names. You get more letters. Very good game. So he offered to. I played this past weekend with Amanda Panda and Book of Nerds. Shout out to John. Shout out to Amanda.
Nice.
And Matt, the designer, was like, "Hey, I'll just swing by. I can explain the rules. Takes pressure off me if it's coming right from the person who made it."
That's easy, right?
Exactly. But he stayed the whole game, and he ended up giving. I think he helped each of us once or twice with just some help because he studied a lot of words making the game. So apparently the word za.
So yeah,
Right.
Apparently the word za is in the dictionary.
it is.
And
Sadly.
that's how I felt too. Like, come on.
Well, like,
it can be used against you.
Exactly.
but is it short for pizza?
Yes,
or
it is.
Is
Yes.
it a word for another?
It's short for pizza, which, nah. No, but here we are, right? So, yeah. And then I did a little demo for Creature Comforts from KTBG. Yes.
Okay.
Worker placement.
I don't know much about it. I was like, all right, that looks interesting too.
Like woodland creatures, worker placement. It's one. You ever play Wreck Raiders before from KTBG? It's another game where you look at it. Oh, it's just for kids. It's worker placement. Yeah, tableau building, but it's for kids. But it's not. Like it really is for anybody. And Creature Comforts works on the same level where it's like the art style makes you think, oh, it's simple, it's whatever. But it gets vicious. trying to get those points. But it's really good though. It's really good though. And as far as digital stuff, I'll be real quick on that one. Still playing Crash 4. Still playing
Crash Bandicoot, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I did not know that existed.
Crash Bandicoot
Nice.
4. I think it's Crash 4. It's about time.
Out of time, or it's something like it's something with
It's
time.
about. Oh, I've seen a trailer for that. Okay.
It's fun.
That is on my radar. I actually thought it wasn't out yet, so that's cool.
It came out like a week or maybe within the last 2 weeks for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you can be a lot. I mean, I didn't have a PlayStation 1 until like 2004, so I'm not like any.
I was gonna say I didn't see you as a big Crash fan.
I'm not really, but I love a good platformer. But you can be a lot of different characters in this one, so I was like, all right, cool, sign me up. What else did I play? Kill It with Fire. That game is so much fun.
It's a lot of fun.
You're trying to kill a spider. Yeah. Basically, like it's first person game. You're in a house and you see a spider like crawl under something, and you just wreck everything in the house trying to kill the spider. But then like the big baby spiders, just like hidden objectives,
exploding spiders.
Yes, there are
spiders that jump at you.
I don't like those spiders.
Left 4 Dead.
It's
in a destructible world.
It's kind of like everything is low poly. Like everything is Not I don't
Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, not much texture. Everything. So, like you're in this world and like you pick up a magazine, you flip it over and look, there's a spider on there, and maybe it shoots stuff at you or whatever. Like depending on what type of spider.
Or you can get like a hairspray and like a lighter. You can set.
I mean, because you gotta kill it. But
I mean, sure, you blow up the whole room, but it's worth it, right? The spider's dead. So
Maybe.
True.
yeah, that's true. Maybe.
Maybe.
That's
You have a little alien like motion detector, but for like
but just for
proximity to the
spiders.
So
I just wish it was mosquitoes because I don't hate spiders as much as I hate mosquitoes.
I think
hate mosquitoes way more.
They are very annoying. Now I'm thinking of Mr. Mosquito for the PS2, but you were the mosquito in that game. I think.
Oh, then that wouldn't work for me.
but you're like a cute like Disney mosquito. Like it had like a Mickey Mouse body to it kind of deal. And for some reason
they're my mortal enemy.
As you're playing as this mosquito, you would get targets on the family that you were harassing in this house.
Yeah. Oh, you wanted some blood? Let's get some blood. You good? The blood
sounds like not a good experience for me.
Understood. And that's it for me. I ramble on too long. Tony, what about you?
Do you want me or because I'm continuing to play Chrono Trigger on my DS. That's really about all I've been playing. Like I played some Hades on my Switch and whatnot, but I keep going back to just continuing through Chrono Trigger. So there hasn't been a whole lot else. But I could also play. I
can't read that text, man. I just can't on the DS. I just can't do it.
I think it's fine. I don't have to sit in front of the TV.
I have started it no less than 5 times on this thing, and I just can't. It's actually in here.
Oh man, I wish I still had my DS. I'm sad.
I'm playing it. Yeah, I'm playing it on my. Oh, it's not going to work on. There you go. I'm playing it on a DSi. Like I did not want
a DSi XL or regular DSi.
DSi XL. Yes.
That's the one I don't own. We have the 2DS. This is the new 3DS. I have the 3DS XL. Never had the DSi XL.
Well, when my DSi got, or not DSi, the light got stolen.
Oh, at the convention?
To replace it. No, this was when that guy broke into the house, like a decade ago. So,
which DS was flat?
Well, the nice thing about the DSi is like you could play those 5 games that are exclusive to it.
You said which one was flat? The 2DS.
The 2DS?
The 2DS.
The original 2DS.
Oh my God.
I had one of those.
Yeah, we have one. It's somewhere around here. My youngest uses that when she remembers that she has it.
You bought it the same time I bought mine.
Yeah, I bought it from my middle at the time.
That Target sale.
Yeah.
We were sitting in Boston, and it's like, oh, it's on sale.
Let's get it.
We're at PAX East. Why don't we have this shipped to our houses?
Let's throw some money at this thing while we're sitting here.
Right.
Right? Why not?
But yeah, Chrono Trigger on the DS is still, I think, probably the best way to play that game. Like it has the anime cutscenes, it has the improved translation.
See, I was a Secret of Mana fan, so I felt like the main character from Chrono Trigger looked like a bootleg version of the main character from Secret of Mana, so I was like, I want to play that.
Hey, what's the name of the main character from Secret of Mana?
Whatever name you give them.
Gotcha, it's a big fan. Understood.
I don't know what, why is that like a, what difference does that make?
I just seemed odd, like as
you get to name them.
Right, but Chrono is the guy's name from Chrono Trigger.
No, that's the name of the frog. The frog's name is Chrono. That's what they want you to think. I'm just making this up. I have no idea.
I was going to say, you're
no idea.
It also is missing the loading times from the PlayStation 1 version. So,
how do you take a Super Nintendo game, port it to the PlayStation? It's cartridges. Yeah, that makes sense.
You don't have enough. You don't load it into memory all at once.
Yeah, we're so notorious. Like
the overheating
loading screens were crazy.
See, I was an N64 kid.
Namco literally patented the idea that you could play another game during loading screens. So, here's PacMan.
That's a callback.
Ridge Racer. So, would you like me to play Mike's thing?
Oh yeah, let's. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I remember. Oh wait, are you the host now? You might be the host.
Oh, that means I have to do it?
Or you could just right-click on me and make me the host, because it says host is disabled screen sharing.
You are now the host. The host with the most.
You are now host. There it is. Okay.
We were talking about spiders. It looks like I just saw a spider. I thought I did. I think my eyes are playing tricks on me.
I don't actually need to share the screen, but whatever. That'll work for a sec.
Yeah, that's the show is taking a direct. We can now see the tabs.
Oh no, you can see the outline.
All right,
but let's share Mike's thing real quick.
All right, so we're gonna do Extra Life board gaming marathon. This year we got to do it outside because of the COVID, you know. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit around a folding table outside, and it's gonna be in November, so it'll probably be cold, especially at night. You know, when we're still playing games at like 3 a.m. and we need spotlights just to like see what's going on. But we're gonna sit around in little, you know, loungy folding chairs around a folding table. We're gonna set up the game, and somebody's gonna roll the dice. So they're gonna roll the dice on the table, and it's gonna work just like you're inside, because the dice are, you know, they bounce around and then they land on numbers, and then you know how many spaces to jump or whatever, depending on what you're doing, what game you're playing. But then, so somebody's gonna throw the dice, and the numbers are gonna come up, and then the next person is gonna lunge at the corner of the table because a gust of wind just blew the board over and all the pieces went flying all over the place. And thank God we were playing, you know, on a wood deck, because there's little gaps in between the boards and all the little pieces fell in between the gaps. So the whole game is gone. In fact, the board slid right down in there and it just disappeared into an abyss. And then now we don't have to play board games no more.
What was that?
I don't know what just happened.
I'm not entirely certain what happened either. So
I blame both of you.
Mike was real busy today, couldn't be on, and he just said, "Hey, I'm sending you something."
That was his contribution.
I'm sending you something. That's so ominous. Hey, I'm sending you something.
Speaking of which,
play it.
Speaking of which, in our group chat, I put a link to this YouTube video. I forgot the name of it. It was, did you ever watch it? Where the guy goes by the other guy's house and gives him a box.
I don't remember this.
Yeah. So it's like, you know how YouTube has a lot of these short movies, these like little mini movies that people put together. Yeah. So a guy like basically gives this guy a box, but he does it like in a weird way. I don't want to spoil everything. But he opens the box up and it's just like an empty void. Huh. So then he puts the box on the table and basically when the guy came over, he was with, there's a woman that was there cooking dinner with him. But when the guy who brought the box came over, she kind of went like back into the bedroom or whatever. And he lied and said that she wasn't there, which I'm pretty sure is why he brought this box over. So anyway, he stopped looking at the box for a while and he goes back, and then you see like a man's head up to here, just sticking out of the box. So it's like a black void and just this much of a face and a head. And he gave him instructions about like, you have to keep looking, because if you stop looking, it will move. So
I mean, actually, you're not going to get this Doctor Who reference. This is just the angels from Doctor Who. Like, if you look away, they can move, but if you look at them,
okay.
Or like the booze from Mario.
Exactly.
Like,
but yes, it was much creepier though, because they look away and then there's hands coming out of the box. So it gets worse. I'll leave a link in the show notes so people can watch it themselves.
This link.
It was pretty unnerving.
I do not remember this. So
I mean, it's like there's no jump scares, no none of that. It's just, it just messes with your head, and it was effective. It's not like 15 minutes, maybe that long. It was effective.
That strangely sounds like something I would enjoy.
I thought you might. I'll send that to you tonight. You can take a look at it.
I don't know why.
I guarantee a good night's sleep.
Like, that's interesting.
Oh, it was something.
In a very creepy way. It's October month. It's fine.
Yeah. It is fitting. It is certainly fitting. All right. I didn't put anything down here for
stuff
feedback
or
news or stuff that happened. Robbie1051 said that he listened to.
I saw Robbie stuff.
Either last week's show or the one before with a friend of his. It was talking about, it's one of my favorite video game podcasts. Shout out to Robbie1051. And his friend, he said half an hour in, they were like laughing about Oh, it was last week's with Joseph because he was laughing about how much food we talked about. He was like, he said his friend was like, "This is the video game podcast." We're half an hour in
Talking about food.
talking about food. Because Joseph was talking about making homemade tortillas, which I mean, hey, I hope to get there one day. So, other than that, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I can't think of any new. Like, I mean, I don't know. A lot of the backwards compatible stuff for Xbox One or Xbox Series X is now up. That like, hey, it's going to enhance this stuff and the HDR and all that stuff.
Anything new for that system that anyone has seen? No? Okay.
Oh. I mean,
Has there been any news about the sort of next iteration of PlayStation VR?
no, because I mean, right now they just keep talking about
It's compatible.
So this is the dumbest
Yeah.
thing. The new PlayStation 5 camera will not work with your PlayStation 4 headset. You have to plug in your PlayStation 4 camera.
But they're gonna send an adapter
An adapter.
to people
Yeah.
for free. Supposedly that
Okay.
will, because it's backward compatible, which is good. It's just I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, that
I was thinking about getting the Oculus Quest 2 because that just came out kind of recently.
Yeah.
But I also want a next gen console, and I was like, well, I might as well get. Like, I really only want to play Beat Saber. That's mainly it. So
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, PlayStation is perfect for it.
might as well get the PlayStation and do the VR with that.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be probably less expensive just to get the Oculus 2.
Well, but I want to play Miles Morales too.
And
And they just showed that trailer, and that made me even more excited about it.
they showed the brother's hairline, his
Did you
edge
show
up, and the hair
It's
texture.
great.
I was like,
It's
we have
perfect.
arrived. It's like, it looks real.
So perfect.
We have arrived.
Did you see the trailer today where he has a spider cat with him? A cat that he puts a Spider-Man head like
I
mask
did
on.
not see that one. I saw
he'll,
the
like,
one where
it'll
he was
be in
with
a-
Peter.
It'll be in a backpack on your back, and like it will attack
What?
enemies with you.
Spider Cat.
Spider cat,
So
yeah.
good.
So
Speaking of Spider-Man, did anybody, I don't know if this is true or not, supposedly, well, you know how they announced that Doctor Strange is going to be in
he's going to be in Spider-Man 3.
in
yeah.
Spider-Man 3, but then I read something saying that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield also signed
Yeah.
on to be in another Spider-Man movie because they're clearly they're doing a Spider-Verse
The
kind of thing,
multiverse.
Yeah.
Thing again.
which is interesting because I don't know what Tobey Maguire looks like, but it's been a little while since he's been Spider-Man. So they'll work it out.
I mean, it's been a little while, but he'll be like retired Spider-Man or whatever, or
Yeah.
Trench
The-
coat
the
Spider-Man or something. I don't know.
Grandpa Spider-Man.
There you go.
so like. I mean, I guess the only other thing to talk about, what Mario Kart Live Home Circuit comes out this week. That's the
What is
remote
that?
control. So it's a remote control Mario Kart car, but it has a camera on the back because you play it through the Switch,
It's AR.
and it's an augmented reality. So it's going around. It superimposes like a Mario Kart view from like a first-person perspective, or really like
that's
a zoomed-in
wild.
third-person perspective because you see Mario like
I think it's $99.
Yeah, and you have to keep it within 16 feet of the console because it connects directly via the same protocol.
Yeah,
as
see, they had the
controller.
see when you watch the trailer, they have the perfect room. It can go around the couch, and you know,
I was reading the Kotaku review, and like the guy's like, I didn't think it would work in the carpet or whatnot, and he's like, no, it did everything. Like it went over all the surfaces in my apartment that he rents perfectly fine. Like it's not like he can make a whole lot of changes to accommodate it.
you get knocked on a low bearing
pretty
wall.
cool.
It was from Mario Kart. What? It was worth it.
So yeah, so I mean, I don't know. That still is cool, and if I can convince my sister to let me get my nephews a Switch, that would probably be with it.
But you'd have to have, in order to play multiplayer, you have to have two of everything, 2 Switches.
Uncle Dave is playing to be the favorite uncle, and like this is, if this is what we have to do, this is what we have to do. Like I'm
Uncle
here.
Dave.
I'm here to win this.
You said
So-
guaranteed uncleness.
Well, so we were. It's funny, and we're not gonna just make fun of you for getting Bulbasaur wrong, but my nephew has started getting into Pokemon, the trading card game we talked about last week.
It was Mew 3.
So he started showing me his Pokemon cards, and he's like, "Is this an old Pokemon?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Is this a Pokemon from when you were a kid?" And I'm like, "I'll tell you which one are original Pokemon." So he shows me, and he's like, "Is this an old one?" I'm like, "No." And we got through a couple, and then I remember I got 2 of the packs for Detective Pikachu. So there's a special.
It's hard to see it.
Yeah, with the thing. Anyway, there's a Detective Pikachu card where, in addition to just having a regular attack, he has a coffee break ability, which lets him regenerate 30 health. And then there's a Jigglypuff card. So, Uncle Dave is already winning right now.
Is there a Ditto card? Because Ditto freaked me out in that movie because the eyes was like, whoa.
It's still the beady eyes, but
that was not cool.
So they're not in the promotional movie packs that I got. So
are they making a sequel?
Still haven't watched that, which is sad.
No, you should. It was a fun movie.
I think it's on HBO.
I'll probably watch it soon. It's fun.
So,
yeah,
it was fun. Yeah, it's a fun little like.
There's Squirtles in it and Bulbasaurs. You know,
there are.
Crazy.
Machamp controlling, directing traffic. I mean, it's a thing. So.
That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it really does. It writes itself pretty much.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't know. Like Pokemon is on. It's weirdly mostly on the periphery of that movie. Like, it does not center on the hey, kick this 10-year-old out of your house and have them go wander the world.
Yeah.
No, it does not.
It's literally like like we said, a detective story or whatever. A missing person kind of thing.
But it was pretty enjoyable. I mean, I hope they do a sequel. I'd certainly watch another one of those and get all the names wrong. I'd be happy to do that.
Hi. I mean, since we are talking about Pokemon one more time, I will mention this. My buddy is participating in the What Play Games Do Good event. It's next week, and he's doing a vote. You'll see it up on my Twitter. He's doing a vote for his game. So like you can spend your channel points on his Twitch stream, or you can make donations and I can play. I currently have 80 something votes for Pokemon Snap. I want him to play for 4 hours.
I love Pokemon Snap. So glad they're coming out with another one.
This is his favorite game, I think.
It is a game I play a lot. Like I mean, Doom is a favorite game.
Like Pokemon Snap for you is like Resident Evil 4 for me.
Like but I can finish Pokemon Snap in less than an hour, 100%. Like it's not like a significant commitment in my life. It is, hey, let's run through this real quick. Why did Arcanine not jump out of that volcano? Now I have to restart this whole run.
Yeah, seriously, Arcanine.
What's that PS5 game that people are liking to Pokemon Snap?
Bug Snacks?
Bug Snacks, there you go.
Bug Snacks.
It looks interesting. It's going to be on PS4 too.
I thought it's also on X. I'm pretty sure. Isn't it on everything? Like I think.
Oh, I thought it was exclusive to.
Nah, I'm sure Bug Snacks is a multi.
Let us see.
Well, I'll definitely get that when I can ever get a PS5, which might not never happen.
Oh, it's coming to PS5, PS4, yeah, and PC. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but anyway, so yeah, hey, if you go over to Lone Star F1. And you can pick your game you want him to support. 100% of what you donate goes to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and then he is matching it for the Dornhopper Children's Hospital, which is out in Oregon. Which the West Coast could use some help. So
that's fair. That's very fair.
So yeah, go check that out. He has other stuff like a randomizer run for a Link Between our Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. And a bunch of other stuff on there. So Cadence of Hyrule, the rhythm Zelda game.
I didn't really like the original game all that much. I get the appeal. This wasn't for me.
Gotcha.
What was the original one called?
I was trying to remember that, and then you had to ask me.
The original rhythm Zelda?
Cadence of Hyrule is the Zelda one, but it is based off of...
Can't think of the name.
Crypt of the Necrodancer.
There you go.
So...
Gotcha. I've never heard of that.
So
yeah, it's interesting.
It's an action adventure. So I think like, hey, you're attacking and you have different weapons and they'll have different attributes. And like you're attacking, you'll see from a like top-down perspective relatively, so link to the past. But you have to move in time with the rhythm of the music, and that also dictates how the enemies move. So they all have specific patterns based on either the offbeat or it changes based on what like dungeon you're in and whatnot. So as the rhythm changes, they move different ways, and you also have to move to it to be effective in your attacks.
All right. So, in the chat, Lord Tonto says, "Don't vote for Pokemon Snap. That game is garbage."
Lord Tonto is
highly controversial.
Lord Tonto is one of my fellow Philadelphia extra lifers, and I appreciate all the work he does. Not this year because we haven't gone to any events, but traditionally. But he's wrong, and that's okay. He can just be in his wrongness.
Okay.
So
Pokemon Snap is incredible.
It's a fun game.
It looks fun.
It's definitely one of the best games on N64.
I think I own it.
Oh, definitely.
Like I think top 20 games on N64.
I'm assuming I own it.
So
yeah.
If not,
I was
I
gonna
own
say
3
top
copies.
10
Aaron.
easy.
3.
I mean, is it better than BioFreaks on the N64? I mean, come on,
yes.
BioFreaks. Winback. What else do I have over there?
Winback
Fighters Destiny 1 and 2.
Winback is supposedly the game that like inspired Gears of War and whatnot.
I thought that was Kill.Switch.
Did I play Winback?
Or is that no? Isn't it also Winback?
Yeah, well, Winback does have a lot of
like it has the
cover shooting,
cover shooter kind of thing. So
Kill.Switch is a much better game, but to me,
well, but it was also on a later system. Like, isn't Winback on a PS2?
Kill.Switch.
Maybe
Kill.Switch was on
PS2 and maybe Dreamcast.
There was a sequel to Winback. I wouldn't bother with it though.
So anyway, again, Mike, Lord Tonto can just be in his wrongness, so it's fine.
Wow, the president has spoken.
Can't wait for the new one.
I'm waiting for that new Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, so, I'm ready.
I hope it's good for your sake, because if it's not, people will be really upset.
Of course, it's gonna be good. I mean, Nintendo has been nailing it recently.
That's true.
Least. Like, super solid.
As long as they're making it, it's probably it'll be good. Like some of the problems are
Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. I mean, it's been uphill ever since. No, I'm kidding.
Well, that was what I was gonna say, because I thought you were gonna say Star Fox Zero, and I'm gonna be like, but Star Fox Zero was developed by someone else.
If they just would have, why didn't they just at least update it to give it better controls, then I can actually play it?
Yeah, Platinum Games was the lead of Star Fox Zero. So I'm just saying, like, hey, anyway, we'll see. If not, it's not going to ruin my memories or I don't know, 40th time I'll play Pokemon Snap this year. So when I do an hour of that during our extra lifetime. So be like, hey, here's how you can do this. This is where the Scyther is. You have to throw the stupid balls and the stupid different colored plants. So
that sounds hard. I didn't get any of the cool stuff. Except maybe, is there Mew in it? Yes.
At the Mew's on the very last level.
Yeah.
But like, there are like 4 Pokemon that are random. Like they just kind of show up random. Like Goldeen is another one. You just have to keep throwing stuff into the water and hope it jumps out.
Yeah.
So
I remember that now. Oh, it's all coming back.
So I mean, there's only 63 Pokemon in that game, which is impressive because it came out after Pokemon Stadium.
I was gonna say, Lord Tonto is still talking trash. He said, "You're getting long in the tooth, Tiny. You sure you want to keep wasting your youth on Pokemon Snap?" Well, first of all, you're not in your youth anymore.
I'm older than he is.
You're reminiscent.
Most of the Philadelphia Guild. So
I'm the old. Well,
I am not the.
Now there's one person older than me in the Baltimore Guild.
I'm not the oldest, but
I'm up there though.
A lot of these youngins that are like 10 years younger than me. So
yeah.
But anyway, so but I can't think of anything else that was major this week.
Yeah. We can wrap up and get out of here. So Omari, any shout outs, plugs, Kickstarters you want to mention on our way out?
I mean, we could talk about Hoop Godz Kickstarter 1 week from today.
What day is that?
10/21, October 21st. So yeah, we'll be launching, and I feel good about this campaign. So yeah, we just appreciate anybody who is interested in playing a street ball basketball board game. I know it's a strange idea, but I think we did good. Yeah.
It definitely
I'm excited
works.
about it.
My preview should be completed shortly.
All right. Let me know. I actually do have another person who I might be able to send that to.
Okay.
So,
cool.
Bam. That's something we could take care of offline.
Will do. All right. Well, if Mike was here, he would say something along the lines of donate blood and have your pets spayed or neutered. If Aaron was here, and he is here, he would once again thank the guest, Omari, for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, of course. This is number 2. I've been on your show twice now.
That's right. In one calendar year.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wild.
We've all grown so much.
I guess I'll have to come back.
Yeah, third time's the charm. Let's see.
Nice.
Shout out to the listeners, folks in the chat. We appreciate you listening, asking comments, asking questions, making comments, all good stuff. Oh, and Hard Rockin' Guy did answer the question. He was talking about Dexter, the serial killer. Apparently that show is coming back.
Oh.
I never watched Dexter, so I don't know.
I didn't watch that show at all.
How to feel
I did watch Dexter's Laboratory
about that. So
I watched the first season. It was good, but it didn't hold me. So if that tells you anything.
Yeah, you're not into the serial killing. You're like, nah.
I mean, it was good, but I felt like it had its limit after the first season. Like the second season didn't grab me because it wasn't as interesting.
Gotcha. All right. If you want to leave us feedback, you can always email us at podcast@GameEnthus.com. Hit us up on Twitter. All of our stuff, you can find all of our information in the show notes on GameEnthus.com. You can also leave us a voicemail at 202-573-7686. Tony, how about you?
I got 2 things. One, just because I happen to have Amazon opened on the left screen here. There is a sparkling water that it's suggesting I should get that is black cherry and coffee, and that sounds disgusting.
Okay.
So, no. But on the other hand, more serious, I can't believe we're only 3 weeks away from Extra Life's Game Day, which is people are going to be playing 24 hours of games and raising money for the local Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So you should check it out. Go to extra-life.org. You can sign up, raise for over 170 different hospitals across Canada and the US. And you can then have a great excuse to play games. And if you can't take part, go to extra-life.org/teams/GameEnthus2020 and donate to your favorite Game Enthus personality. I'm going to say Mike could use some help because I don't think he's raised $1 yet. So
this year was different.
It's been a definitely different year.
Yeah.
So I'm also gonna take a victory lap. Philadelphia crossed the $100,000 mark raised for this year.
Wow.
Earlier,
I don't think Baltimore is.
Earlier this week.
And you did this with no conventions.
Yes.
Wow.
So that is impressive.
That's that's good stuff.
That just speaks to the city of brotherly love that I happen to lead.
It's just a coincidence that I'm in charge.
I'm totally gonna take credit from that. So anyway, go to extra-life.org. You can sign up. You'll have a great excuse. And remember, the campaign runs till the end of the year. So even if you can't participate in Game Day on November 7th, you can participate any of the rest of the year. And again, 100% of what you raise goes directly to the hospital you choose. So,
all right.
So yeah, check that out.
Sounds good. Well, this brings us to our exciting conclusion. I don't know if that's the right word to use, exciting, but this brings us to our conclusion. So, Mari, any final words before we head out?
I mean, just that if people want to find me, they can find me at Omari Akil on Twitter. That's like easiest way to find me. And our company that's publishing Board Game Brothas is BG Brothas at all of the different social media platforms.
Cool. All your stuff will be in the show notes. All right. Lord willing, we'll be back next week to talk more about games we've started and probably haven't finished.
All right. We're out of here.
Have a good one, everybody.